Hi, everybody. My name is Katie. This is episode 9 of the Creating Christmas Island series. Today, I'm back in my home. I'm going to show you a speed build of my kitchen and my bathroom, which will finish off the rooms in my house for this particular build. The first thing I'm going to do is take you to a room that's actually finished already. The room straight here to the right is a little sweet bedroom space that I put together for a previous build, and I love it, and so I haven't taken the space down. In a regular house, the bedrooms may not be decorated in Christmas style when the other parts of the house are, so I've decided to leave it be, and this is where I would come if I am going to change my clothes or hair. It's my personal space. Back into this living room area, this is a speed build I've done before, and I'll link that in the description below so you can see how I've done it if you wish. Here in the back room, I'm putting together a bathroom, and as I usually do when I am creating an indoor space, the very first thing that I'm going to figure out is going to be the wallpaper. I do that because the wallpaper usually exudes a certain amount of character and color, and then I'll match the floor so that the two go together. And that's when I start putting the furniture in place. So you'll see here I settled on the white wall with the dark floor instead of the dark wall with the light floor. And one of the reasons why is because the white board wallpaper that I'm using is both white but also a little bit of a country style. So even though I'm going for a more modern bathroom, it kind of crosses over between the two with the house. I'm taking all the items out of my inventory that I intend to use. I change my mind on this type of stuff a lot, but by putting everything together, I can sort of see how the colors look together. I can see what kind of space everything is going to fill up, and I start moving things around. The first task of moving items in place is usually to figure out how I'm going to segregate the room. If you've worked in Animal Crossing to try and design interior spaces, you know that they are not set up the way that our regular houses would be. If you have interior design experience, we're used to houses having more angles, and even if they are very boxy in shape, they're not usually perfect squares. So it can be a little tricky when we're working in the game. This little back room is nice because it just has the one door and goes back straight into the room. So I try to figure out how to divide it. I go ahead and settle on putting the bathtub behind a couple of these simple panels. I will pick those up and customize them here in a minute, but for now that gives me the ability to hide the bathtub for perhaps a little bit more privacy if somebody was in there taking a bath. But it allows me to put this red rug in front that makes the wall look just a little bit more interesting, not quite so straightforward. Here you can see I've settled on a custom design pattern for this simple panel, and I do just this really basic. It's just got a simple line as if it was just a regular little white see-through wall. And I do that because the patterns that come with objects in the game don't require me to take up more space from my custom design slots, and that's always really useful. I haven't used all my design slots in the game yet, but that'll be coming soon. I also customized this little magazine rack, and I adore this. I put the little Christmas sale sign that is a custom design from the Nook shop. If you saw the speed build for that store, it has a sale sign on it, and I thought that would be perfect because the magazine would likely be advertising Christmas sales during this time of year, but the rest of the bathroom can look pretty normal. I don't decorate much, at least in my bathroom, if I'm putting things together for Christmas time or my bedroom, so I felt like these decisions were right for me, but certainly you could go all out and put a lot more Christmas decorations in these spaces if you wanted to. Here is how the finished area looks. You can see that little magazine rack and just a few details tucked here and there. I like the way it came out. It was pretty clean. here I am in the kitchen space. This is the room to the left of the main area when you walk in, and I'm doing the very same thing that I did in the bathroom. I'm going through walls and floors to determine how I want this room to look. I really liked this natural wood pattern, and I finally settled on this little yellow pattern. I've actually used this in the kitchen before, and the reason that I decided to do that is because I felt as if I wouldn't be redesigning a kitchen for Christmas time. I wanted to build what would be a fairly normal kitchen that I could put Christmas items in. That way, when I do builds in the future, I don't always have to take all of the kitchen down. I can just take out some of those Christmas elements. And you'll see as I'm putting things together that that's part of what I reflect. It's almost as if I'm creating a perfectly normal kitchen, and then I add some Christmas design to it as an afterthought, the same way we would do in our own houses if we were designing. I do specifically pick out things like the green toaster so that it has that green color to it, and the red kettle. Again, I absolutely can imagine pulling out the red kettle to go with things at Christmas time. So the little things that we would unpack from our box when it's Christmas time. Now the tablecloth and the cups, definitely things that we would pull out of a box. So I put those back up and head in to customize them. Again, with the cups, I used some of the custom patterns. I finally settled on the little Santa Claus image. This Santa Claus is the same one I used for my flag for the town, and I really liked the way that the cups looked with that. And then I pick one of the patterns that we get from the Able shop for this tablecloth. There's actually a red and a green pattern that both work really beautifully as holiday patterns and fabrics in your build, so keep an eye out for those. When I put them back in, I start, okay, I can see Christmas is starting to come into the room, but I start finicking and replacing and really shifting items a lot in here. This idea I have to keep the room looking normal and adding a little bit of Christmas to it only works to a certain degree. And so I do make a couple of pretty big changes right towards the end, one of which is changing the wall, which I go ahead and do because I really just wanted a different color. And I can because it's my island. Remember, you can always just do things however it is until you're happy with them. And I keep changing things until I'm happy with them. It's just part of my process. I haven't settled on music for this room yet, just like with the previous one. I really am hoping that we get some Christmas music in the next update, and that could be coming anytime now or sometime within the next couple of weeks. I know that you guys left some really great suggestions for KK songs that you already felt festive when you listened to, and I absolutely loved all those suggestions and will definitely be using a couple of them. But I'm going to hold out just a little bit of hope that we get some Christmas specific music when the update comes. And so I haven't put music on in this room yet. After I settle on furniture for the room, I go ahead and turn my attention to the wall. It's usually the last step in any spaces I'm designing because it allows me to finish in some of those unique spaces and gaps to bring a particular room together. Here you can see I go ahead, change out some rugs, and then you'll watch the very last minute I decide that the yellow just isn't going to work after all, and I change it out for that original natural wood pattern. That's the first one that I came to in the very beginning because I really do like the way that it looks cozy, and I was going for a cozy room in this space, and I should have just gone with my initial instinct. Here I'm looking at the room. Is it right? You can see I just spin and I analyze and finally decide, nope, here's how I'm going to do it. The finished kitchen finally comes together. You can see all the Christmas colors in place. I can always go in afterwards and add another wreath or Christmas tree if I want to, but the basic space to me looks like there's a yummy pot of soup on the stove and some hot chocolate in those mugs, and it makes me happy. Back into the original room, we are done with the house. You may be wondering, I skipped the basement, and oh, did I talk about the upstairs? The basement is my trophy room, and I will leave that for you to discover if you decide to come and visit my island during Dream Address, and that won't be updated until much later. But up here in this room, I wanted to maintain the space so that I could host Christmas parties, and so it will also wait until after the update is complete. I hope you found something useful here and that you continue creating in this game. Until next time, have the best Animal Crossing day.